Welcome to McDonald's Family Coaches Bench, only on Mix 104.1 and CHS Live, and we appreciate Coach Marty Wheeler being with us every week. And also Dale Halfacre and his staff here at CHS Live doing the production of this program. Thank you very much, guys. Aiden Williams helping us out, and so we appreciate them and everybody at CHS Live. Coach Marty Wheeler, you had an off week last week. Did you and the coaches and the players get a day or two off?
We did. I did a couple. We practiced, early in the week, and then we gave them the last few days at the end of the week to hopefully recuperate for the last 3 weeks, I believe, of the regular season, and then the playoffs as we get ready to go in that direction as well. So, I'm always hesitant in an open week because it's just different. It's different than what you guys are accustomed to. We talk about with our guys all the time that Friday's like a payday for us, and so think about people that go to work and they don't get paid on Friday. So you're always a little on edge about an open week, but we also, though, from a standpoint of what the type of season that you go through and that we've gone through this year so far, we've had a very physical season so far. As most every Friday night we've played a lot of really quality teams, and so it really came at a pretty good time for us to get some guys rested up a little bit and let them hopefully be fresh for what we got left.
Exactly, and maybe something the general public doesn't think about, but these guys have been going hard every day since about the second week in July, 3 months ago. And in my opinion, sometimes you just need a day or two to kick back and forget everything and then get back to it, kind of like a mini vacation.
Sure. I mean, the bottom line is they're high school kids, and as I'm often reminded myself at my age, when I get a chance to talk to, some of my former teammates and get folks that I went to school with, whether it be college or high school, I mean, those are experiences and memories that you remember the rest of your life. And so, I know families, some of them, this is their only opportunity maybe to get out of town for a few days and get a break for their grind as well. So, I've really become a little bit more understanding about that once I became a parent. So anyway, I think overall it was a solid week for us and productive, and so we're ready now to move forward, though.
I amen the part about becoming a parent, because life does change, and usually for the better. But that's the first segment of McDonald's Coaches Bench with Coach Marty Wheeler, brought to you each week by the East Tennessee Family McDonald's, the Smith Family McDonald's. And we'll take our first break, come back and talk about Knox Bearden right after this. Coach Wheeler, to me, a tremendously important ball game tonight on the road up to Bearden. Not a long trip, but very important because the Bulldogs are in the region, and you and Farragut and the Bulldogs have the same record.
It's always an important game each week, but it's definitely very the emphasis on it, as you said, it's a region game and it's the next game. And so as we talked about earlier, in an open week, I think now once you fast forward to tonight's game, I mean, you're always a little bit on edge as a coach about the open week and trying to do everything in our power as a staff to prevent our guys from coming out with any kind of rust or taking too long to execute the way we want to execute because we did go. It's been 2 Fridays since we played, and so we're excited to get back out there tonight, and we need to play well, and hopefully we can come out on top.
What makes Bearden go?
Well, they're pretty solid defensively. They've had a lot of success this year on the defensive side of the ball. They've been in, in today's game, you see a lot of high-scoring games.
Oh, yeah.
They've been involved in quite a few low-scoring games, and so they've had a lot of success and executed well defensively. They're very aggressive defensively. They play with a motor on defense, and they seem to run to the football the way you want guys to run to the football from a defensive standpoint. Offensively, they like to run the ball first, of course, but they also have a quarterback that has some mobility, and he likes to get outside the pocket, with an option to run or pass, and so we've got to do a really nice job of containing him when he does try to get out of the pocket, and if he's in the pocket, we need to be able to try to get some pressure on him. But the main thing is it is every week, Terry, is that we've got to do a really good job of blocking and tackling and taking care of the football. That's what it's going to always come down to. Our success on third down from a defensive standpoint, being able to get off the field on third down. When we've done that, and we've done that a lot this year. We've had a lot of success when we've been able to do that. And offensively, we got to stay, ahead of the chains. We don't want to get ourselves behind the chains, especially early downs. And you don't ever want to be behind the chains, but we need to stay ahead of the chains all the time.
Oh, absolutely. On their defense, is it any unusual alignment or scheme, or they just play well?
No, it's not. It's not a secret. They line up in a couple different fronts. Now, you may see them in a 3-man front. You may see them in a 4-man front, or an even or odd front, how you want to look at it. But I mean, no, they're really aggressive, and like I said, they play. I was impressed with how hard they play, and how they rally to the football, so that when they make mistakes, it helps to cover them up. So it's big for us. I think field position is going to be huge. We don't really like to punt, but there may be times tonight where that's the best play for us to run, and so we'll just have to see how the game's going, how it unfolds. But we just have to we're on the road. We got to do a really good job of, like I said, blocking and tackling, and protecting the football.
One last Bearden question, and then we'll take a break and jump to the Raiders. Ballpark figure, is it a 60-40 run offense, or 2/3 run, a third pass? Just some kind of
I would say they're maybe 55-45, maybe.
Very close.
I think it depends on, like a lot of people in certain situations. I mean, if they're able, what situation are we in game wise? What's the score? What scenario do we have here? Where are we field position wise? I think really plays a little bit of that. But I mean, I think you got to have to stop the run. I mean, it's like you should have to do every week. I mean, we got to be able to stop the run, and then when we want to try to get some points, like our game plan every week is try to get somebody, as one-dimensional as we can, as soon as we can. But I mean, if that doesn't happen, then we've got to be prepared to. We got to do a good job, and our coaches do a really good job of trying to get it across to our guys of the situation, the down and distance, and where we are, and on the field, and those things. So it's a lot of things go into it, but I would say they do. They have the capabilities of hurting you in either phase, but we've definitely got to stop the run.
All right. Our final break on Coach's Bench, brought to you each week on Mix 104.1 CHS Live by the Smith Family Area McDonald's Restaurants. We appreciate them very much, Mark Smith and everybody at McDonald's. We'll take our final break, come back, wrap it up with Coach Marty Wheeler in just a moment. Coach Wheeler, question that came through my mind coming over here thinking about the program. 7 games down, a few to go, plus playoffs. Maybe a couple of good surprises you've had this year, as far as maybe an individual who has kind of stepped forward more than you anticipated, or just a couple of nice surprises?
Well, I would say that, a lot of our guys have played a lot of the times, the way we had hoped they would play, the way we felt like they had the capabilities of playing. I mean, and we've had several guys, I think, at different times and different games, step up and play maybe their best game. But I keep going back to Bennett Smith, who's done a really good job. I mean, I'll tell you this: guys like Isaiah Davis and Lucas Zimborski, who are freshmen, Dylan Harold, Cam Lockerbie, those guys. Those are young guys. Those are freshmen and sophomores that have really, I thought, they have contributed quite a bit, whether it be in any phase of the game, special teams, offense or defense. And so, those guys come to mind, right off the top of my head as far as, Jaden Acevedo, who's a senior, I think is really, he's played the way we felt like he had the capabilities of playing. The thing is, I think what makes him a little bit of a surprise is just that he was a guy that transferred in and we didn't know a lot about in the beginning. So, but to see his progression every week, and he's become really fun to coach. I know sometimes he probably thinks. I coach him position-wise, so I know sometimes he may not agree with that I'm having fun coaching him or he's having fun being coached by me, but. I do think a lot of him, and I think he's really contributed, been a big contributor for us on defense, and he's had to go in and play some offense as well.
Right.
Markell McKinley is starting to come on. As he was injured, early in the year. He's been able here lately to step up and give us some quality reps as well on offense, and then guys like The tackles, the defensive tackles are sort of by committee, and so it just depends on who's playing well at the time. It's guys like Daniel Sneed and Daniel Douglas and, Anthony Davis, Jared Canales, who plays on both sides of the ball for us. Probably not a surprise, but a blessing is just the fact that Bo Baker's been able to be out there and play. And be very.
It's a miracle to me.
Yeah, it really is, and be very, very productive for us. Just really the backbone of our offensive line, and so Ethan Burns has really played well this year.
He's had a good year.
And on both sides of the ball, he's played. His reps on defense have been limited because he starts offensively for us up front. But and then I'll say this: probably a guy who stepped up too, because we've had some injuries. Would be, Ethan Bilbao, who's had to step in and play on the other side when Nicodemus got hurt, and so he's done very well. I can go down the list at some time,
on the spot. It's
but
just a question that came to my mind.
Some people would think that when I say Rodney Broadnax, that shouldn't be a surprise because he's so athletic looking, but he's 6'5", but 200-something pounds, but still not playing football for a few years. What people don't understand sometimes is, as far as varsity football goes, he's basically like a freshman, and so to watch his progression on both sides of the ball has been really, really good to see, and just really excited about tonight seeing our guys get back out there. It seems like it's only been one open week, but it seems like it's been a month for whatever reason. So. Really excited about getting out there tonight, and just want to see our guys continue to play well like they have for the majority of the season.
They surely have. That's going to wrap up Smith Family Area McDonald's Restaurant's Coaches Bench. And let me take just a moment and thank Marty Wheeler. He gives his time every week. His time is so divided between so many obligations as a head coach. And Marty, I appreciate you coming every week and spending some time with us. Until next week, Terry Evans saying goodbye.